actually. No one would know this, but with that first major order, we essentially funded most of that order through the trade show. So being a unique product, when stores were coming past our stand and they wanted it, we're like, you need to pay for it now. We're an exclusive product. No one else has these. And again, at the time, no one was doing refillable candles. And
so it's pay up front.
Yeah, so it's like, you need to pay for it now and, we'll deliver,
Our next delivery is coming.
Yeah, exactly. So we essentially funded that first order through our wholesalers. So people pre-ordered.
Pedestal, a podcast solely dedicated to talking about how businesses are started and how brands are built. I'm Justine Malone, creative director and founder at Malone Co Studio, and today I'm sitting here with Marie Belfiore.
You got it right. Belfiore.
Marie Belfiore from The Luxuriette.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we were laughing just before she came in because she has given me a mouthful.
I haven't made it easy.
So I'm going to let you introduce yourself again.
So yes, I am Marie Belfiore from The Luxuriette. I'm the founder there.
Yes, founder, owner, and the ideation all came from you.
Yes, from me. I should mention he would be disappointed. But yes, my husband is my partner as well in the business, Joe Belfiore. Yeah. So got to mention him, otherwise he won't be happy. Yeah.
So your brand is the world's first refillable candle holder.
Yes, it is.
And when I came across it, I had so many questions about it. I thought it was like a really great innovation. And so I wanted to talk to you and see where it all began.
Yes.
See what you have brought into the brand from your history and how you've helped it grow and where you're going to be taking it. So I always like to start from the beginning because I feel it's important for people to get to know you and your history. So where did you begin from?
So where did I begin? Okay, we'll go way back. So I am the oldest of two. I've got a younger brother. Family of four, had a really simple, wholesome childhood. When I look back, it's the type of childhood that you'd want to have, surrounded by family and cousins and aunties and uncles, and just big family affairs. And I come from a big Greek family, so you can imagine. So I went to, I guess we'll start with primary school. I went to the same primary school and high school, so I had the same friends throughout and still friends with a lot of them today. And school was a really great experience for me. I loved it, and I can see now looking back how it's impacted me and how it's led to me having that discipline and dedication to be able to pursue a business.
And even being in the same school from beginning to end, the stability in that, I wonder if that plays part in your life today.
Definitely. I think we could probably focus on school because there weren't any huge changes, I suppose. But and then keeping your same friends was nice. It gave you confidence as a student.
Safety
exactly. And it's a tricky time in life as well.
That was in Melbourne?
That was in Melbourne, in Essendon. So, I still live there, so I haven't left the area. It's,
So you've gone on holiday?
No, I have,
I've exited the suburb a few times.
Yes, the other side of the city, no. My parents were... What were your parents like? So my parents were immigrated here from Greece, so quite young. So I'm first generation Australian. They had a very different upbringing to what I experienced. They came over probably in the 60s or 70s and came with literally one suitcase in a big family. And
did they speak English?
They didn't speak English. So my dad was pretty lucky. When they came here, he was in high school. I think he was in Form 1, as he says, which is year 7. And the friends that he made were Greek background. So it was an easy transition for him.
There was a community here for them.
Yeah, there was a big Greek community when they came over, but they were still on their own. You know, my grandparents were factory workers. They, you know, they weren't educated themselves.
So your grandparents and your parents, when they were
so
little,
my dad was about 12 years old and my mum was 2. So obviously they met in Australia as adults.
But still, their
similar situation. Coming over. And like I said, they didn't have much at all. They were farmers in Greece, and you know, my dad tells me stories of how my grandpa would, you know, bath him in the lake at the front of the house. And so it was a very different experience to what we grew up with. And similar situation for my mum. So for them to be able to give their kids a better opportunity, education was everything. So they did send...
And like the stability, like moving countries and not speaking the language. Yes, that's really hard.
To think back on what they experienced and to see what they've created for themselves is inspiring. Yeah.
So you saw them actually like build something for themselves. Like even though you built a brand and businesses, you saw...
Well, like I said, my dad... especially same as my mum, he was big on education, and getting a good education meant going to uni, getting a good job, and then just being able to break out of that you know, upbringing that he had. There's a word, but it's not coming to me. But so they put everything that they had to send us to a really good school, and growing up we knew that, and you know, we didn't have a lot. And I like saying this story, but we had to share shoes at one point. So, but again, like we didn't have a lot of materialistic things, but what we did have was our family and connection and that stability, and that had a huge impact on me becoming an adult.
Sometimes you can have nothing and you're sharing shoes, or you're living in a tiny house, but if your family is, if you feel like you've got the support around you, and it doesn't even need, sometimes it doesn't need to be like immediate family, but just consistent beautiful support around you.
And we had that in abundance. Like my aunties, uncles, cousins is just
it can be almost being alone as like a child with nothing, or with all the money in the world, but no heartfelt support.
And you really see how those things are more important and really the only things that matter.
At the end of the world, at the end of the day.
But
and the world probably.
But my dad, from a pretty young age, they got married sort of young, in their 20s.
Normal back then.
Normal back then. Exactly. But my dad pretty early on started his own accounting practice. He went out on his own and did it himself, and was a one-man show, you know, did appointments on the weekends, would go to people's houses. Like everything back then was all done on paper as well. So I saw him working really hard, and that was just normal to witness. I, you know, went to high school and started to work out what I wanted to do in life, and I ended up sort of following in his footsteps, and I went to uni, became an accountant.
Do you feel you did that because of the, I guess, security and the guidance?
It was definitely the security. I enjoyed studying accounting at school. I couldn't say I like loved it and I was like super passionate about it, but I enjoyed it.
Passionate about accounting.
But what I loved was, you know, I'd be stupid to do something else when I wasn't really influenced by anything else.
A passion drawing you.
No. And my dad never pushed us to go in that direction, but there was stability there. And I thought if I have this stable job and this, you know, established business, I can do my passion projects. On the side, I can travel the world, and that's, you know, it led me to do that.
You had to choose between something that was more stable and something that was more, not unstable, but I guess freelancey. And
I did the same thing. I think in my second year I had an elective, and I decided to do an events elective because I loved that as well. And I did it, and I did really well. It was probably my best mark at uni, but I just realised, it's not me. It's so much more competitive, and I just want to go down this path. You know, go down, towards, my dad, and it made sense.
And create a stable home and for yourself.
Yeah. So in my final year of uni, my mum showed me this job application for a position at the tax office, funnily enough. Yeah.
That sounds thrilling.
Yeah.
I'm accounting at the tax office.
Yeah. I'm like this 21-year-old, working at the ATO, like the medium age.
Literally the most stable job ever.
Yes, it is. But you know what? I loved it there. And I always say I was one of the good guys. I worked in the superannuation line. So I always say, I get people's money. I'm not taking it away. Don't hate me. But so I got a job there in my final year of uni. So I was working full-time. I studied part-time. And in the first job that I had there, I had a really supportive manager. She was amazing. She, let me go to uni during the day. She gave me that study time and, really supported that.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say the medium age of, employee at the ATO at the time was like 50. So here I am, this 22-year-old. And
they probably like that. It's like, some fresh blood here.
Well, I think that's what they were trying to do, just get, a younger generation of people coming through, because all those people were so close to, probably retiring. Yeah. So my manager in that first position that I had was really supportive of that. And, she gave me the time to study and knew that it was a priority for me.
Yeah.
So I really excelled there, and I got this little rhythm of, working hard and working really efficiently, and, everything is really process driven when you work for, public departments, especially, the ATO.
Systems and organisation.
Exactly, yeah. Then there was an opportunity still within the ATO, and they asked for expression of interest, who wants to go over and work in this new position. And, I put my hand up and I got selected to go across. And I was working as an analyst, and it was a job that I just loved. It was just...
I'm fascinated.
Yeah, it was...
it was... You're fascinated by analytics. Like, wow.
Yeah, so back then there was a lot of changes in the superannuation law. So this was a new team to sort of tackle all these changes. And at the time, people were setting up self-managed super funds and running off with their money. So that team was sort of created to, you had to sort of go into the minds of these taxpayers and, see if they had legitimate purposes for setting up a self-managed super fund. So I would stalk these people's lives with the systems that we had. And I loved it. It was like detective work. And
AI could just do it for
you. Now, exactly. But I was really good at it. It worked with my strengths. And like I said, there was a lot of changes going on. So we were this test dummy group, and, they were working out how to write up the procedures. So they wanted to know, okay, how many cases can you do a day? How long does each step take? Yeah. So I was working really quickly. And some of the staff members were like, you got to slow down. You're making the rest of us look bad. So I was like, but okay, this is how I work. Yeah. And so it caught, a lot of attention from the staff, and it caught the attention of my manager.
Yeah.
But unfortunately not in a good way. So the manager...
because it was starting to create...
So no, it was more... Like I said, everyone else in the team had been working at the ATO for, at least 15, 20 years. Yeah. They had been there forever. And I just came in with this drive to work. I was young. I got people's attention. And she was a micromanager and just had it in for me for no reason at all. Okay. And she was just picking on me, would micromanage all my work. I probably used the flexibility of, the ATO work-life balance a bit too much. But I was also like, I'm doing my work. My output is 6 times everybody else's. Let it go. What's the big deal?
I'm going to have an extra long lunch today.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, I wasn't doing anything silly. I was probably just, getting to work and going for a coffee break straight away. Yeah. So it was nothing silly, but she just caught on to that and really just picked on everything that I did after that. And essentially, and I hate using this word, but it's appropriate, she was bullying me. Yeah. And even one day over, the Christmas lockdown, obviously no one's at at work. So I called up to say, hey, I'm going to take just an extra annual leave day. I'll be in on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I rock up on Tuesday, totally, don't know what's about to hit me. But she literally threw the book at me. She was like, it was unauthorized leave. I can't believe you didn't come in. Okay. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, well, she's right. I did take a day off. And I'm at a really impressionable, like 22, 23-year-old at this point. And I was like, she's right. And, I was blaming myself when in reality she was just bullying me.
Yeah.
And, this continued for probably about a year, and it created a lot of, internal anxiety. And it wasn't this happy workplace that it once was for me. So my, performance dropped, which again got noticed and was picked up, but it didn't drop to a normal level. It just dropped to what everybody else was doing. So I wasn't,
you weren't thriving.
I just calmed down a little bit and sort of got to everybody else's level instead of, working these crazy hours and at a crazy pace. But so it wasn't a permanent position. So when we went over there, they said it's just temporary. And then in a year or so, they'll make it a permanent position. So we had to apply for our own jobs. So I had to interview. I guess that's probably because it's a public department. Yeah. And I was the only person in the team that didn't get my job. And it just was like a knife in the heart, because I thought, I've given this team so much and I've excelled and I was good, and you've just continued to punish me.
And it's such a young age as well.
Exactly. So that was, a really hard pill to swallow. Yeah. And I was then luckily sort of headhunted, I guess. He was another executive level manager, and he's like, what they've done to you is terrible. Yeah. People were aware of it, and I got frustrated. Like, why did no one speak up for me? Like, you knew I was young and I probably couldn't speak up for myself. And again, if this happened to me now, it would be a totally different experience. But at the time, I didn't know how to defend myself. I had never experienced anything like this in my life.
But then you got headhunted.
Yeah, so he came over and he's like, I want you to work for me. And what he was doing was writing this annual report that goes to the Commissioner of Superannuation. Okay. So that's like a really big deal. And I was, like his support staff. Yeah. So, I'm ringing people, like totally threw me in the deep end. Yeah. But it was amazing. And like I came out of it and I'm like, I didn't think I'd be able to do that. But I did it. Yeah. But unfortunately, that wasn't, again, a permanent role. And he's like, you're going to have to go back to the original job that I started there with. And at this point, it had been 4 years. I'm like, I am not going back. Yep. You cannot do that to me. You need to put me in a different team, in a different level. So they put me into this other audit team where the work was a bit more advanced, and here we go, start again. I'm, working at this like incredible pace, and, I literally had no work to do because I was working so fast. He's like, I've got nothing else to give you. So I sort of like lost my way a little bit while I was there. Exactly. And then I got to a point where I felt like I had reached my level. Yeah. And I thought, you know what, I'm out of here. And then I moved on and started working with my dad. So to his surprise, he was really happy. And I was really unsure. It was like, I don't know if this is the right time, but I'm going to do it anyway. I started working there. That was probably, 2012. So it's been a long time since then. But I almost had found myself in a similar predicament. So my dad had always worked for himself. He was always his own boss. Yeah. Over the years, he had hired more staff and the practice was growing, and here is me again, this, fresh 20-something. Oh, I'm going to come in, I'm going to change everything. And it's going to be me and Dad side by side. And Dad's like, no, do your job. And I was like, what? So it caught me by surprise. And it was just more my dad not being used to someone else coming in.
And he wouldn't have wanted any change.
Yeah, my dad was really change adverse at the time.
And says the older men get, the less you can change.
Yeah, yes. Oh, no,
that's, yes, they get grumpy and set in their ways.
Yeah. So, me and Dad at home, we're very close. We're very alike. But at work, Dad was the boss.
Yeah.
And that was a surprise. Yeah, it was different. Yeah, I saw a different side of him. So again, I was like, oh, I can't get my hands into this and the way that I wanted to. So anyway, the years are going and I just had this burning feeling like I want to do something for myself. Like I'm good, I have the skills. And I felt like I had to prove to people that I could do something for myself. So I was thinking of, different things. And again, back then, Instagram was sort of new. It was still pretty organic,
it was being just selfies and what I'm doing.
Yeah, and like taking photos of your lunch. And
only the very, very smart people who are like, I'm going to jump on this.
Yes, yeah. So I think in the very early days, there was a huge opportunity to grow organically, like very quickly. I was just racking my brain and what can I do? And I didn't obviously know it at the time, but I had a candle on my bedside and I still wish I had this candle because I didn't at the time know how important it was going to be in my journey. But it was just this frangipani scent and it was just this snow name candle and it was on my bedside. So every morning I would get up and it was the first thing I would smell.
Yeah.
And the same thing at nighttime. It was the last thing that I would smell before I fell asleep. So it was almost this subconscious routine that I had been creating for myself. And it was a nice way. Yeah, a little ritual. Yeah. So it was a nice way to start the day and a nice way to end the day. And I thought, you know what? I love candles. I love how scent can remind you of a place or a person or, a moment in time. So I thought, you know what? I think this is it.
Yeah.
And then at the time we were building our house and, we were looking at all the different materials that you can use in your kitchen and bathroom.
With your husband?
Yeah, with my husband. Yep. So I think we weren't married at the time. But we were building our house and, I fell in love with Carrara marble. And I thought this would be amazing as a candle. Yeah. So I went on my mission to try and find it. But again, not having any experience in doing anything like this, I had nowhere to look. When I found websites, I had no idea how to search for them or find what I was after. So I just could not find anything relating to marble and candle. So I sort of gave it up a little bit, but I had this thing, it was still going in the background and I found these other ceramic jars and I bought them, but it just still didn't feel right. It didn't feel like what I wanted to do. And if I was going to make a candle brand like I was.
I have to look at them now.
Yeah, so these are very different to what it started with. Right? Yeah, so I wish I still had some of the originals.
It's such a similar story to Stephanie Ball from Ingold, who was on the earlier podcast. Yeah. She went on this search for this, but I cannot for the life of me remember right now in this moment the exact type of marble, but she was in search for this particular marble as well.
Yeah, it's if you know what you're doing, it's easy to find. But we just had no idea. It's my husband was working as a financial controller, so he had no experience in this either. We both came, from the accounting,
scouting.
Yeah, exactly. I had given up that concept, found these ceramic jars and I thought, all right, I'll just give it a shot. We'll see how we go. Then one day I'm scrolling Instagram on my lunch break and I can still remember this moment. So, it's like so clear in my mind. I'm scrolling and I see these marble jars. I'm like, oh my God, that is exactly what I've had in my mind.
Yeah.
What's this page? So I've clicked on it. Oh my God, they're a candle supply company. Where are they? Oh my God, they're in Melbourne. And I've rushed into my dad's office. I'm like, Dad, I've got to go. Yeah. I've got to go buy these stones. And my dad's like, just go at the end of the day. We've got work to do. I'm like, no. You don't understand. I'm like, I have to get these. And I'm reading the comments and there was, 20, 30, 40, I can't remember the exact number of people like, oh my God, I love these. I'm going to come and get them. I'm like, no. I got there first. I bought every single one. Yeah. I'm like, no one else is going to have these. Yeah. I have to have all of them.
So they were marble jars.
They were marble jars, similar to this shape. They were a lot smaller. And then at the time, we were pouring directly into the marble. So our glass inserts didn't exist back then. And I'll obviously get into that. So, a lot smaller. They were just Carrara marble. Then I've gone home. I had like some, I was already making candles at home. And
so you taught yourself how to make candles?
Yeah, it was all self-taught, just playing around with different scents and wax and all that stuff. And at very early days, our candles...
You look back at them now
they were pretty cringy. Yeah, they weren't great. They didn't burn that well. Yeah. But... I poured straight into the jars and I took a terrible photo in our backyard against like our tiles, and I put it up on Instagram and it just went crazy. I had people messaging me saying or commenting saying, where can I buy these? And, we're building a Squarespace website in the background, and I was like, just, send me a message and, you can pay to my PayPal. Yeah. So it was just all very, very...
So you didn't set up the business yet. You kind of just like, I made these, put them on Instagram. Yeah. And then because of the...
It was all very green. Yeah, exactly. So I think I had the name. I'm pretty sure we had the Luxuriate. But we were still, building this website because we weren't expecting to find these jars. I was building the website for those other ceramic, jars. Anyway, they came here and I was like, I didn't even open them. They just went to, and at the time we were using Joe's grandparents' garage as our storage. So I'm like, just put them there.
I don't want to look at them.
Get them out of my sight.
I've elevated since.
I've evolved.
I smell now.
And that's just how it started. And Instagram, back then you could grow very easily, and it was a really great time because...
We're going to look back, we are already looking back, the days when Instagram was great.
Oh, and it was so simple. Your pictures could look terrible and you still got like 1,000 likes, and now I put these beautiful images. I'm like, why is no one liking them?
But nothing. I can't and there's like a whole other episode on why Instagram.
Yeah, why this algorithm now that it controls us. But
I'm doing it in the threads. But
and that's the ball just started rolling from there.
Yeah. So you started with the small ones.
Yes.
Did you build take me through, that's the start of the business?
Essentially, that's how it all started.
With your background in accounting and numbers and systems, you had crunched the numbers, or
we did
playing as a passion project.
It was a bit of both. At the start, it was more a passion project. I kept saying if just one person buys these.
And usually passion projects is you don't make money off them.
No.
And you basically pay to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Entertain yourself.
I am paid to work till 10 p.m.
You do. You're like, I'm not making money off it.
No, and at very early days, no, it wasn't. But... Oh, where was I going? So it was just a passion project. I literally was like, if one person buys these, I would be so happy. And the first night we launched the website, we got a little ding on our phone and it was our best friend.
Oh, God.
But no, it was good. It was still he just said it's like, good luck.
Cool.
And it was
the first support is friends.
Yeah, exactly. Usually. And they were just as supportive, now as they were back in the day. And it's funny, a lot of my friends and how I actually met you have their own businesses. Yeah. So, my friend Danny introduced us, and she's got her beautiful brand Onda.
Oh, I love Onda so much.
Yeah. So if you're a mum and you love good quality, make the best essentials for kids. So
actually, it pairs really well with your brand? I mean, I didn't do your branding, so I don't know your story, but I'm all about brand feels and the feel of your brand and like the rituals, what you're meant to do. It kind of aligns.
Yeah, it does. It's just a good quality product with simple aesthetics. Yeah. But the quality is there. Yeah, exactly.
So that's how your business started, which I always love to know how they start. And now you have this beautiful brand. Like looking at it now, it's well crafted. You've got the branding done. Like me as a designer, like look at everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are the flaws?
Yeah.
And it's really beautifully done.
I'm glad. Well,
I know you didn't launch like this.
No. So the first, like the logo, I did it myself. I found a font online. It was a free font, and originally we had this gold crown that I had again found on Google and probably paid someone on Fiverr to throw it together. So looked nothing.
But it was just a logo. It wasn't.
It was just there was no brand. It was just a logo, just a name.
So when did you know that it was time to rebrand?
So we did. How many years?
That's a step that a lot of businesses and new businesses would go through is you launch your passion project, it starts to pick up, but then it comes time where you need to elevate your brand.
Yes,
and this
of course.
Is the moment where, like, when do you invest? Because branding, it costs money and
of course.
Everything that comes with it. So when do you know it's the time
to invest?
It
was probably about 2 years later, from memory, 2 to 3 years. And again, we wanted to compete with these luxury brands. Yeah. So we needed to have a luxury brand. So it was probably within 2 to 3 years where we could say, okay, this is something that we can afford to invest our money in. We then also looked for better packaging and sourced our packaging for ourselves instead of, finding suppliers in Australia where it's, more expensive. It was a good 2 to 3 years in.
And how did you start the rebrand process? What was your journey with that?
It was all pretty simple. We do have very simple packaging. This was all pretty much
simple
Joe's.
Is hard though.
But it is hard,
You have so little on the packaging that if you have one thing that doesn't
look right,
isn't right, the whole thing gets thrown off. Even the font choice on the back here, if that font choice doesn't align with your logo or the title.
Exactly.
It's the tiny micro things, and simplicity is
you're right. You're right. I think we had a very clear idea of what we wanted, and initially Joe actually designed this. So he just sat there with fonts trying to work out what we did want to create.
He's going to put me out of work.
No, he's pretty good. He's actually...
What does he do as a financial?
Well, he was a financial controller.
Great financial controller, did amazing branding. Anybody can learn anything.
You can. I never would think that he would be able to come up with something like this.
And it's about just feeling it out and knowing.
Yeah. Well, we had our branding, like it was sort of in our bones.
Yeah,
so
we know it.
We knew it. Yeah. So we just, went to someone who just sort of put our idea just all into place. So it was more of a simple exercise. Yeah. And then since this, we've gone a bit more fun with our brand assets. So we've used graphic designers to create, we've got this really cute like pink and red theme that's sort of through our emails and our other packaging. And I don't think I've brought that with me today, but
you have the elevated range.
So we had this really minimal clean aesthetic, but then we also do have a bit of fun with it. So we've got these cute little magnets that people can, put on their fridge, and like our thank you cards are a bit more fun.
Just to bring some personality to the
exactly.
brand, whereas you still have the base.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So
you rebranded.
So this was just simple rebrand, but I'll take it back a step a little bit, because what happened before that was, we're pouring straight into the marble at the time. And for 2 reasons, we're like, this isn't sustainable in a business sense.
Keep finding the marble.
Because how many times are we going to convince a customer to buy a marble candle? They weren't the cheapest candles. I think at the time we were priced around $90. Yeah. We might be able to get them to come once to buy a gift, but are they going to come back 2, 3, 4 times? Plus, this marble is amazing. You don't need more than just, 1 or 2 in your home. So from, that perspective, Joe and I were just, and again, we're playing with the word Forever Candles, and the people who know our business know that's like our little thing, Forever Candles. And we came up with this idea of having refills that pop inside. Yeah. And this was 7 years ago. So these are... You know, for the people watching at home, they're not
people watching at home.
These are our candle inserts. We've got 18 different scents, and they just are interchangeable. You know, and they just obviously, you know, seamlessly pop in. They're clean. There's no mess. You know, we don't make you like
gonna like do a thing.
Yes,
camera, literally
a demonstration.
That's it. So
I remember when we used to do our trade shows, people would look, oh, these are nice candles. I'm like, did you know they're refillable? And they would just be like, wow. So yeah, I'm very used to that action. But so then, you know, we were off designing these candle inserts.
How do you start with that? Like because production is a phase where a lot of people will be like, I have this idea, but I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got the ball rolling. It's just you do find your way.
Like production. Like
you do what you can and what's available to you and what you've sort of got experience in. And like I said, we didn't have experience. So Joe predominantly at this point as well, we were probably 8 months in, and we were still purchasing our marble from that Melbourne supplier, but they were just, you know, supplying everybody, so that marble wasn't exclusive to us anymore. We were like, we've got to change this. We've got to innovate. We've got to be different. Yeah. And at this point, we knew this isn't a passion project anymore. We want to make this a legitimate business, you know. So at that point, we were probably a bit more familiar with, you know, sourcing products overseas. Yep. And Joe went over there and met some suppliers and sort of started working out what we had to do, what was required. And, you know, every millimetre of, you know, our candle inserts was all, you know, done by him in Excel. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like
numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can, you can't take the numbers out of the numbers guy. But so that's just how it started. It was probably really rough, and I'm sure there's, you know, better ways of doing things, but that's just how it. Yeah, that's what we knew.
And I'm a big believer in you can figure it out yourself. You can teach yourself.
Exactly.
If somebody else has done it, you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. So and that's why I always say, if you're listening and you've got an idea and you're not sure, just do it. You know, we didn't have a business plan. We didn't have money. Yeah. We just went with it. Went with the flow, and it just. It just went from there.
It was an idea.
It started.
Felt good.
Yeah, exactly.
Felt interesting.
Yeah. So we then obviously went to overseas suppliers, and that was a huge investment.
Yes.
So, you know, there's minimums. We're buying, you know, beautiful packaging. Yep. We're buying the stone, we're buying glass now, and
the weight on that.
Yes, and then you've got your sea freight over here, and it was a lot.
That's
and
the
I
decision
think,
that's the time then you go, right, we're going to do this now.
Yeah, and we never second guessed it. We jumped in, we're like, we're just going to make it work. Yeah. And, you know, it was hard. I think about 8 or 9 months in, Joe left his job. Yeah. And I was still working full-time in my accounting position and, you know, doing this at home in our spare time, and everything probably the first year of our business was all done at home. Yeah. You know, we got ourselves some, you know, wax melters, and, you know, we turned our front living space, and we luckily had sort of just moved in, so we never had furniture, and it was like this perfect.
So this was before when you were just pouring them straight in?
Yeah, straight in, yeah. That was all done at home, and, you know, had the wax melters, and Joe was, just like this little mad scientist almost.
It's in the front room. Your idea sparked a passion in him.
In him, yeah. So initially it was just, my idea, and then he saw the potential. Like, Joe is really good at business because he thinks outside the box, and he thinks in a way that I wouldn't think, or the normal person wouldn't think. And I'm like, that's so good. That makes sense.
And you had the support. So, like I say, there's so much. Yeah. So there's waiting to find a fourth one. You've got either like a lot of money to back you.
Yeah.
You've got support, or I forgot the third one now. Oh, so somebody there to help you. Like a little magic fairy god.
Yeah, like a mentor or something like that.
What I'm finding a lot in businesses and successful businesses and successful women is that they've got the support as other from their family.
Yeah,
it doesn't often come from friends. I've never heard my friends have.
No, we had. Our friends.
There's a lot of partners like with women, like their husbands are such a great support, and they support them in so many ways. Like it's either you go and work and I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad because like you've got this and I've got the kids,
I am incredibly blessed because in every avenue from family, my husband, my friends, they are all supportive and
it's amazing
everyone just comes together.
Yeah.
Because, there were times where we literally had no money in our bank account and I was ringing mum saying, hey, we need to come over for dinner. And then there was times when we would have say big sales and my brother would come, my sister-in-law would come, everyone would be stickering and, boxing and packaging and it just all came together. Things just always worked because of the support of our family. Yeah.
I'm really starting to see a pattern in that.
Yeah. For us, our number one is our family.
Yeah.
This is, my dad and my mum worked their asses off to be able to give us something. Yeah. And, now it's us working our asses off, to give to our kids. Yeah. And, and it just, without my parents, it would probably not be what it is today.
Isn't it amazing the strength of what your parents do for you? Oh, yeah. And as
it's
a mum,
endless.
Ourselves.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a big burden. I was like, not a burden, sorry, a pressure of, oh God, it's up to me to make your life amazing. So that you can be
exactly.
Amazing. The pressure of it.
And I've really seen that through my parents giving up everything. We didn't go on these big extravagant holidays. Everything just went into our schooling. So, we could have a head start. And I truly believe it did give me a head start
Education is so key.
Yeah, going to the school that I did and, everyone who went there says the same thing. Everyone loves it. We were given every opportunity and it taught us discipline and, just to do the best that you can.
Yeah, and probably the school you went to helped, formulate the friends that you have today.
Yeah, so, a lot of my friends, they didn't go to the school that I went to, but they went to one up the road. So, and they were all very similar. A lot of, the students at the school were from families like my own.
Which school did you go to?
It was Essendon Grammar.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I haven't grown up in Melbourne, so I don't know all the schools. So I just know Ivanhoe Grammar and Eltham College. Oh, really fancy?
Yeah, so we're on the other side of, so we're northwest. So it's a really great school.
It's kind of up there.
Well, the year that I finished, I think finished top 3 in the state. Yeah. So it was a brilliant,
a big investment, a big cost for your parents.
Basically. Yeah, it was. It definitely was. So
makes me think my kids' school sometimes. I'm like, maybe I should just really push.
It's not. Look, times were different back then. Life was. I think simpler back then. Yeah. We didn't have. Now there's so much pressure to.
Like Instagram is also
it is. It's true. We've got a lot more pressure, and we have to take our kids to Gymbaroo, and this, school holiday class, or
I'm pretty sure my son does no learning at school because there's always something ongoing at the school. It's pay for this and this activity and this is.
We lead very busy lives.
Because I feel like I'm constantly at the school doing another thing.
No,
giving you money for another market day or a stall or.
I think there's a lot of pressure on mums these days. It's nice, but it's a lot, and there's a lot more pressure for us to succeed.
Yes, as mums.
As mums. And
I think there wasn't our mums to be a stay-at-home mum and not have a career. It wasn't it was like, oh yeah, cool, that's what you did. But nowadays, if you ask somebody or a woman, and if they are 100% stay-at-home mum, they're like, oh, I'm just a mum or something.
It's no, you're not just a mum. You're doing the hardest job in the world right now. Yeah.
Going to work is so much easier than being at home.
I always say work's my holiday.
But it's almost looked down on now. And that's hard. A lot of women work, they get into work because of passion what they do, but also have to stay in work because it's so expensive.
Because exactly. With the cost of everything.
Most mums would be like, we'd love to just la-di-da for 5, 10 to 10 years, but you can't. It's so expensive.
Of course.
So.
Life, especially as we know it this year,
my gosh,
is expensive. So
buy the brand. Buy
my candles, please. No. But
so
then
went
that's
to manufacturing.
So Joe went over. He went over to China and he was there for about a week, meeting different suppliers and trying to find.
Did he have a translator? Because I know China, like I went there once and it's really hard.
No, I don't think he had a translator. I think he was pretty lucky that most spoke English very well. Great. And I think one of the first people that we met over there, we still work with today. He's great. His English skills are excellent. So we got pretty lucky with most of our suppliers.
And why did he decide to fly over as opposed to Zoom or email or Gmail? Like, do you think
I was
like,
probably
he
probably just wanted to get it done. It was probably the quickest way to do it. We didn't have kids back then, so it was probably just.
But from stories I've heard with manufacturing, it's so long to see and test and this and that. It's months and months and months.
Yeah,
so
it can be.
The cost is on the time. Just fly over, have a meeting, figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was there for a week, met a few different people, and came back. He knew what they required in order to start manufacturing our inserts. And obviously it's a custom product.
Yes.
It was just getting it right and making sure they fit into the jars perfectly.
So the jars, though, these are yours now that you've made these?
Yes, this was all custom. These was
all from the manufacturer.
From a manufacturer.
I want the stone. They sourced the stone.
They sourced the stone. They show us images of the onyx and the marble. So these are onyx.
Yeah.
So this is our white onyx and that's our green onyx. So they show us the slabs. And, we look at it, see the different, variations in the stone. We're like, we want that one.
Yeah.
And then they, make them and then finish them off by hand and polish them. And
so they
So the final process is hand finished. And
So when did that start? When did and with your production runs?
That started for us, so, doing the manufacturing side ourselves was probably about a year into the business. So it all happened quite quickly because we did recognise quite quickly that, we've got something here. Yeah.
And what were your minimums? Because that's for something like this, which is very much crafted, has hand finishing, it's heavy.
I don't remember exactly, and Joe is an epic negotiator. So I know from memory he did get it down, but it was still probably all up in the thousands.
Yeah, like 10,000, 20,000?
Probably, no. Probably between, I think it was maybe about 5,000, but that might not be accurate. I can't remember exactly. Right. But I know now every time we do, obviously to keep our costs down, we're ordering lots.
Yes,
it's changed since then. Yeah.
Well, it's just it is important to understand that manufacturing overseas. You have your minimums.
Yeah, you have your minimums, so then you've got to pay for your container space, and obviously that is quite costly. So now, our packaging comes from one supplier, our glass is a different supplier. At one point in time, we were sourcing the onyx from Pakistan because naturally that's where onyx is found.
Yeah. And they organise it, the manufacturers organise
They organise it, and then Joe manages it as well. The logistical side of things. Yeah.
Okay.
So now, what we try and do is fill a container. So that way it's, obviously a lot cheaper but, that's,
still thousands.
Yeah, still a lot. Yeah. So, that was quite early on. So that would have been, within the first year. And I remember the first order was this ridiculous amount. And
money. And you're like, we need to invest.
We need to find the cash.
Did you extend your mortgage on your home?
So we extended our loan, and we probably did that a couple of times over the years. So it's like, it was a hard decision, but an obvious decision.
Yeah.
With our first order, we did a trade show. We did Life in Style, which a lot of people would know that are in the industry.
Which again is thousands.
Yeah.
To be a part of.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a cheap exercise. So you've got to build. And I actually remember everyone, that first show that we did, we were so nervous. We built this little cabinet and people were like, oh my God, yours is the best one that I've seen. And we're like, really? Like we built it ourselves on the weekend.
Yeah.
And it was in Sydney. So we drove up with the van with this little cabinet in the back. And it was just, it was an experience. Yeah. And like, I'm so glad we did so much ourselves, because now we look back and we laugh, and it's a nice memory to have, and something that we shared together. Yeah.
And you're working so close with your partner or husband.
Yeah.
Husband at the time by then?
No, that was still a few years later.
Was it, what was that like? Because
it was good. You know, we obviously living together, working together. I was, and I'll get to this, but I'm still working as an accountant as well. I never gave that part of my life up. But it was good. We work well as a team.
Yeah.
And I think because we are so passionate about it, we love it.
Yeah.
Like, we're on the laptop till we go to sleep.
Yeah.
And
some people,
we're doing it together. And we're growing it together, and we're proud of our achievements together.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we bounce ideas off each other, and, you know, it gets stressful, and, you know, you bicker and all of that, but that's normal. Yeah. So, we've done well. Yeah.
And any big hurdles throughout all the production that
you
just had to go, I need to just walk away and just think about it?
Yeah, we had a good one, actually. No one would know this, but with that first major order, we essentially funded most of that order through the trade show. So, being a unique product, when stores were coming past our stand and they wanted it, we're like, you need to pay for it now. Mm-hmm. We're an exclusive product. No one else has these. And again, at the time, no one was doing refillable candles. And
so it's pay up front.
So it's like, you need to pay for it now, and, you know, we'll deliver, you know.
Our next delivery is coming.
Yeah, exactly. So we essentially funded that first order through our wholesalers.
So people
pre-ordered.
Yeah.
And then
which in today's day and age is understandable now.
Yeah, of course. And we didn't want to go, you know, get another loan. Like, we used a little bit from our home loan, and we wanted to avoid that.
Yeah.
And one of our suppliers, they did the stickers for our candle inserts that also went onto the boxes. They just disappeared. And we had promised our the stores that we'd have the stock, you know, in time for Mother's Day. Oh. And it was looking like it wasn't going to come. So Joe jumped on a flight to Hong Kong, met the supplier so you fly to Hong Kong, you take a train over to Shenzhen, and it's about an hour. He met our supplier on the station, grabbed the stickers from them, went back on the train, got back on a flight, and flew back to Melbourne. So he literally flew to China and back in.
Because that would have been quicker than mailing them.
Well, it was quicker than mailing them. And he knew, I'm going to have them. There's not going to be any delays with customs or, you know, anything like that.
I love that.
So he literally...
Let's pop into China to do this.
Yeah, so it was... It was incredibly hard being... You know, being back at home.
Before.
Yeah, it was, but that, and then
pick up my stickers from Hong Kong. I'll be back by then.
It was, and that's the type of thing. They're the types of things that we've done for this business. Yeah. Like, when I say we do it all, we do it all.
And things that sound like they'll be like, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, we do it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's just what it takes.
They're and the cost of even the flight and the train and coming back.
Yeah, it would have been
better than losing all of the trust.
We didn't want to upset the stores who believed in us, believed in our product. Yeah. So we also, you know, wanted them to be able to sell them for Mother's Day. So, you know, it just had to get done.
So how have you, you know, you've got the product, it's manufacturing, you did your wholesales. How do you start to build your brand?
Yeah, so for the first probably 4 years, we were just wholesaling. At the time, Instagram wasn't really doing ads, so that wasn't an option. And we didn't really know much about digital marketing. It was all pretty, you know, new. Yeah. And so we were just wholesaling. We were doing trade shows, and we would go to New York and do the trade shows there and in LA. And while it was fun, it started feeling like we weren't working for ourselves anymore. It felt like, you know, we're at, you know, these at the store's peril, like, and they didn't believe, like, some stores were amazing and some not so amazing. And we started feeling bogged down by it all.
Yeah.
And
you want to take control back.
Yeah, exactly. So we were doing a trade show in New York, so we needed to get in, a bit of cash flow. And we thought, all right, let's do, and at the time we weren't focusing on our website sales. It was purely wholesale at this point. We'd get organically maybe 20 to 30 sales a month, sometimes not even that.
Yeah.
But we did have, a bit of an email list, and we did a 20% off refills weekend, and we did maybe 30, 40,000 just in one day. And we were like,
oh my God. Did you even have that much stock?
Yeah, we had stock. We had stock. Yeah, again, because of those high minimums.
Okay. Yeah.
But we had the stock, but we were sort of blown away by that a little bit.
So you had never really sent emails?
No, nothing. No,
You're like,
we
let's
had.
give this a go.
No, at the time we did not know the power of email, and we learned very quickly that weekend. So, yeah, and we were surprised because people weren't just buying one refill; people were buying 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're like, where are these customers coming from? And then so that was really great, and then we took that cash and went off to New York and did our trade show again, and then a couple of months later, we needed an influx of cash flow again. We're like, we'll do that 20% off refills email again, and we had a very similar result. Yeah. Then we did it one more time, and we're like, Jo, we need to automate this. Like, people are coming back and just buying refills all the time because we've got a purpose-made product for that.
Yeah.
So that's how our refillable membership model sort of born. The subscription.
Yeah.
So it was sort
of...
It
allows you to go, it's okay, I can light the candle, another one's going to rock up at some point.
Exactly.
Whereas,
So we obviously had this loyal customer base that loved our candles, and it made total sense. So, off we go on, like, building this subscription into our website, and we launched it in October of 2019, and it just went crazy.
And you guys would have done well during COVID.
And when COVID hit, we thought, oh, that's it. And at this point, we were 4 years in, we had lost ourselves a little bit. We lost our purpose. We lost our passion. So we were like, let's give it one last shot. Let's see if we can make this work, because we're also going through a lot in our personal life. We were struggling to conceive. So at this point, we're married. And we're struggling to conceive. We couldn't have a baby. And that became my focus. So I just thought we need to make our lives easier. It's getting too hard. We're working like crazy, and it just doesn't feel like the reward is there.
And you're probably having people and doctors saying you need to relax.
Exactly. Stop stressing. I'm like, how am I meant to stop stressing? And we were going, like, at the time, we had also, Joe sold his car. So we had one car at the time, and my mum would leave work, pick me up from my office. We would go to the warehouse, and we'd work all together till 8, 9 o'clock at night. So it was just this unhealthy just
and then
to
you're
work.
trying to conceive. So your body was like, no.
And it was, exactly. So we had gone into a direction that we just didn't feel passionate about anymore. So we're going to give it one last shot. At this point, we did have digital marketing starting. So it started along with our refillable subscriptions, and it just went crazy. And we couldn't.
And that's really early having a subscription within this industry as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was probably one of... Like, you see it everywhere now. You can subscribe to everything. But back then, it really wasn't being done either.
Before COVID,
it was, before COVID. And then it was doing really well. And then COVID hit, and we thought, oh, no, here we go. We've lost our business. And then in the end, it just propelled us.
It's like, I need candles. I need stuff in my home.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a perfect product for that. And
now people are kind of in the... I'm clearly just speaking about myself because I should not speak for all the people in the world. But I personally, post-COVID, have so many more like rituals. I always burn my incense with a little flint lighter, and
we had to do those things to be able to survive the days and look after ourselves. Yeah,
you kind of become aware of there's so many beautiful little things I could do for myself in the day, and now I've just kind of kept them through my day, even though life is much more crazy and busy, it's those tiny little moments of, I'm just going to make myself a cup of coffee and go and sit on the deck really quietly, just a moment, because I had so much of that happening in COVID.
We had
but it's so easy to just chuck it in your takeaway cup and run. I'm like, I'm just going to get 5 minutes.
It's honestly,
it was candle, have a bath.
It was difficult at the time, and being in Melbourne, we had one of the hardest lockdowns in the world. So, but I think what it taught people was to be able to slow down and just
put a face mask on once a week. Don't do your thing.
Bake some banana bread.
I put a face mask on last night because I'm like, I'm going to be in the camera
today.
A bit of glow.
No, I was the same. I'm like, I need to put some spray tan on because I'm looking really pasty. But
I put it on and I was thinking, I never used to probably do as much little self-care rituals.
Yeah, the things for us.
And the action, I was thinking, God, how many face masks people have? How many face masks sold during COVID?
Yes, no, it was a crazy time in history. Yeah, retail just boomed and we boomed along with it. And so we were lucky in a sense because we had this very unusual event propel us.
And now, we're out of COVID, everybody's back to normal living life. You are still with the same manufacturers, everything.
Not much has changed. We're still with a lot of the main manufacturers. We have really good working relationships with them.
How's the brand going?
Yeah, good. We year on year we're growing. This year has definitely been a challenge.
For everyone.
For everyone you speak to, it's just always about we just need to survive the year.
We need interest rates to come down.
Yes, Personally, I would also like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So it's hard, and not everyone wants subscriptions anymore. They don't want the commitment.
I mean, again, speaking just for myself now, but whenever a subscription comes out of my bank now, I notice it. And I'm like, hang on. Do I really need that? The last time? Because everything's going up.
And we've done the same things. I had Netflix, Stan, Amazon Prime. I had all of them, and I'm like, do I really need these? I don't watch. I don't watch them. And the same thing with us. So this year was about survival, and then also about while we can, let's just improve, the 1% in everything. So we had a really big 22 as well. We launched a range of 9 new scents. We launched our concept store, which is like a little reward system for our members. So for being so loyal to us, we reward them with reward dollars, and then they can shop other really amazing Australian brands. And it was a way to support other Australian businesses as well, and it worked really well for us.
And again, something that stemmed from COVID, whereas now with everybody pulling, even. What was it, late last year, at that point we were looking at online brands, and if an online brand by now is on a subscription, it's hard to survive. But because of the economy changing and people pulling away from subscription, we need to relook at what people
you have to.
You don't sell a subscription. You're like, okay, how do we keep getting into people's homes? It's like marketing is shifting again.
Of course,
now.
It's changed, and it's changed since COVID. It's a lot more expensive. It's a lot harder to break through. People are definitely savvy these days, and you do have to reevaluate, and you do have to pivot.
You got to pivot.
So we're going through some changes at the moment as well, where we're not going to push the subscription as much because we don't want people to feel like they have to commit, and we don't want people to miss out. So it's there if you want it, if you're a candle lover. So at the moment, nothing has changed.
Scents, I feel is nicer because you have your scent, but then you're like, I wouldn't mind trying a new scent.
Exactly.
So, again, it's pivoting. It's reading the market. So.
And we listen, like we always say it to our customers, give us your feedback, because we're always open ears, and we are. A lot of changes we've made has come from feedback from customers. So we are always listening. We're always on the lookout to see what people are doing and what their shopping habits are. And again, you just have to go with those changes. You can't take a step back, otherwise you'll fall behind. And I think because we have always been able to keep on top of it and make those changes if they're necessary, and think outside the box. Like, what can we do?
And economic situation.
Yeah, exactly. So,
which is business. It's all exciting to launch a product and have your passion, but you also need to think with a business mind. And
I think that's what differentiates you from having just a product.
Yeah.
Versus being a business.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And
so
in your business, do you do all of your marketing and PR in-house?
So
or do you
we have
now?
worked with agencies in the past, but we have actually just taken all our digital marketing in-house. So we've sort of upskilled in that area, and we just wanted to have that control. And it's hard. It's another thing that you have to do as a business owner. But we've just taken it in-house to try and scale our business, further.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why wasn't it working using an agency?
I wouldn't say it wasn't working. We had the last agency we were with, they were pretty good, but I think with digital marketing, things change all the time.
Yeah,
the algorithm is changing every time, and the agency just doesn't have that time.
Yeah.
To give you.
Yeah.
So, things would, be left, for 2-3 weeks or even longer until your next meeting, which is very, very normal. And that's just how, agencies work. Yeah. So we thought, no, we want to be able to jump in every day and be able to tweak things to get the maximum result that we can.
And when did you start that?
That's just a recent thing. Okay. So probably just, in the last month, I think. Okay. Yeah, it's been, maybe 5-6 weeks, yeah.
And do you do much PR with the company?
PR is actually one thing we've never done.
Yeah.
No.
As I said to Sophie, who I've introduced, it's a mystery to many people.
It is a mystery. No, I don't think we've had a lot of organic PR. We've naturally been placed in some magazines and we've been on the block a couple of times, but that was just all organic. Yeah, it wasn't anything paid. But no, PR is one thing that we've never done. It's always intrigued me.
Yeah.
So maybe next year.
I'll put you in touch with
Yeah.
Spoke to you.
Yeah, there you go. But
okay, so for the future of the business at the moment, you are, I'm assuming, holding strong with what you have, bringing marketing aside, pivoting, stabilizing. What else is happening?
So, we've got a few things sort of going on in the background. We're bringing in an Australiana style scent. Oh. So, we like to keep our customers, trying new scents and having variety. So that will probably come in the new year.
Okay.
And we're getting ready for Christmas. So we're going to have some really amazing gifting packs and we've got a Christmas scent.
Pine.
You know what?
Pine tree.
Every time we smell pine, it smells like cleaning products.
Yeah, it doesn't smell
So we've always struggled. And you know what? Every year we're like, we've got to do a Christmas scent. And every year, we let the year go by and it's like September and we're like, we've left it too late. But we've this is the first year we're finally doing a Christmas scent. So it's like it's beautiful. It's a woody apple scent and it's really sweet and smooth and people will love it. So
I will try it for my Christmas.
Yes, yeah.
I try to use scent on an incense stick.
Yes.
And I'm always like burning incense like a hippie.
Yeah.
The hippie I am inside.
Yeah.
And my husband, he's always like, our house smells like a 1970s house. I love it so much.
Exactly.
I'm just sitting there playing the guitar.
Yeah, so
what year are we living in right now?
You've got to do what you've got to do.
The scent can change the whole vibe of a home.
It does. No, it does. Yeah. And that's why I am so passionate about candles, because if I'm in a certain mood, I know what to light to get me out of that funk, as an example. And it's funny, in winter a lot of people will burn like woody scents, but I always like I always burn like our summery fruity scents because that's what I want to be reminded of. And a lot of our scents have personal meaning to us, and we don't just say, it reminds you of a place. Some of them actually do remind us of certain places, and we've created them to remind us of that.
Yeah. So you're still very passionate about your product. You're connected to it.
Yes, yeah.
It's part of the family.
It really is.
You care about it. I feel like your customers notice that as well.
I think they do. I think we've been able to build that trust, and it's evident because we have a really loyal customer base, and I read our reviews and I still read them a lot because it gives me that, extra kick to keep going. But
and aside from that frangipani,
a little frangipani scent.
Frangipani,
frangipani, yeah. But it all just started, and it's funny. I've never had a frangipani scent in our range, but we've just
well, so if you through your journey with this had to, if you were speaking to someone who's sitting there with like a tiny idea, like what's the first step that they can take?
Their first step, I would just jot down your ideas. I'm pretty good with writing everything down and visually seeing, okay, what do I have to do? What gaps are there? And then start, I guess, sourcing, your brand image, like spend some time, trying to decide how you want to look.
Yeah.
And getting inspiration from all different sorts of places. But just believe in yourself, I guess, is step one, as corny as that sounds.
No, it is. And
but just if you're passionate about something, just go for it. We didn't have a business plan, and we just went for it. We weren't experts. I should probably say we do. We have budgets and we force.
He's been like, did you not listen to me last night? About the entire detailed plan.
Look, we do, and you've got to forecast the year, and we do in some way.
I think you do now. If you're forecasting, you're looking ahead. If you've got trade shows.
Yeah, exactly. We know what's coming up.
If you're creating scents for Christmas, it's planning.
It is. We are. We're planning. You have to do. Things take time, so you do have to plan ahead and be organised and prepared. But what we do is always write everything out. Write it down in Excel.
I always feel when you have an idea, write it down where you can sit. Because I literally have an idea every day. I'm going to do this.
We're the same. My screenshots in my phone is like,
and I write it down and I put it up, and then the next idea I see, I'm like, that's stupid. What's the thing? But then there's like a couple that stay up,
and then you can start piecing
that one's still
things.
Hanging up there.
So I'm big on when you start on something. Be prepared, be organised, I suppose, and then go with the flow.
Enjoy it.
And enjoy it. There'll be times when it's hard and, life gets busy and, it's hard to sometimes find balance. But, just you've got to have fun with it.
It sounds so repetitive, especially when all the Instagram quotes these days. Like, enjoy the journey. But I really feel that...
Yeah, it is a journey.
If you were handed it at the end, if you woke up, a week later and someone's like, you know what, here's this luxurious candle brand that's all set up. And you'd be like, oh, thank you. Well, that's boring.
Yeah,
now what?
You've
like
got
you're kind of at the end
the
of it.
journey is where you learn things, and don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that's where you do learn things. And
where the stories all
come from.
Exactly.
And we've made a lot of mistakes. Like looking at the brand, you would never know what goes behind the scenes, of course. And here we are, two accountants that created this. But and I think the other thing I wanted to share, and I think it's an important message as well, and I listen to a lot of podcasts and I listen to a lot of other business owners, don't also feel the pressure to leave your job as well.
You still work full
because
time.
I still work. I go between the two. So
and you're a mum now.
And I'm a mum.
Yes.
There's that. So which takes up more of my time.
Yeah.
But
energy.
Yes.
Patience.
But I never left the accounting world. I didn't want to. So I never. I definitely felt the pressure sometimes to do one or the other, and I definitely felt like I got pulled a lot. But I have been able to work on a balance between the two, and wherever I'm needed, I go.
Yeah, I love that. You don't have to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
And we are not in this world where pick your career, pick your job, and that's where you are for 20 years, or even
exactly.
If you're bored with that move. It's like, but why can't I juggle it?
Yeah.
And so there will always be people in your life, and I'm sure you have them too, that tell you to slow down, stop, pick one. And
it's
because they don't know how to juggle it.
Yeah.
And they look at you and they're like, I'm exhausted. It's like, well, that's okay. I'm fine. But surround yourself with the people that can match your energy.
Exactly.
Which was not my quote. I'm not going to own that beautiful quote. It was actually from Stephanie, and I was like, it's ingrained in me now, and I love it.
Yeah, no, it's true. You do. You need to be surrounded by people who are going to bring you up.
Not say, sit down. Why are you doing that? That's not normal. Why are you working at night? That's not what you're meant to do. And okay, just my life.
Yeah, I'm in control of it. And then like if things do start to feel overwhelming, and I know when to take a step back. I know tonight, all right, I'm not going to open up my laptop. I'm just going to watch Netflix like everybody else is.
One of my subscriptions.
Exactly.
Media channels.
Yeah, no, it's just Netflix now. Yeah.
Friday is the only night of the week that I sit and I watch TV. If I'm not out doing something. Yeah. If I'm home, it's the only night where I actually feel I'm okay to watch something.
Yeah, you need to give your mind a break.
Yeah, but I'm switched on and I love it. Yeah. I always get told off because it's like, you're doing two things at once. I was like, I'm totally fine.
Yeah, I can do this. But I also think when you are a business owner, like it's hard to find that balance, but I feel like it does balance me out. I enjoy it. This is fun for me. Yeah. So doing things
at 10. Work. It's working. It's like I'm not working.
Yeah.
I am doing a marketing plan. That's not work to me.
Yeah, exactly. I think now because we did take more control over our business, and we've got that power back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun again. Yeah. So when I'm on my laptop at 10 o'clock at night, it's not exhausting me. It does give me that balance because I still work in my accounting job. I do this. I'm a mum. I'm also my own person. Yeah. But it rounds me out, and I've been able to manage it. And I've got days where I do it well, and other days where it's a challenge. But if I get up and do my best for that day, that's enough for me.
Yeah, well, I love hearing that other people are also online at 10 o'clock enjoying it. Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. No, I'm going. Yes.
We'll save it for the next one. I feel like I have this feeling that your brand's going to evolve into something else magical.
Maybe
this vibe happening here.
I'll give you the scoop.
And I am definitely going to try your Christmas scent.
Yes, you'll love it. It's great. Yeah.
So thank you again here with Marie from
the Luxuria.
I always want to say the luxury.
No, don't worry. Everyone gets it wrong. I have no idea where the name even came from. It was just a name and word that popped in my mind one day. And
like, welcome to the podcast. I'm not sure who I'm interviewing by saying the brand name, but here they are. Yes. It's been a treat. So thank you so much more.
No, thank you for giving me the platform to share my story.
Hopefully first time?
First time. Yay! Could do this again.
Great. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed the episode. The details of this brand will be in the show notes, and definitely try one out because I know I will. So I'm Justine Malone from Malone Co Studio.
Thank you.